Hey Alex, how you doing today?
Great. What's going on?
Not too much. I mean, we just signed an engagement letter. I actually didn't tell you about it yet before this call, but we just signed an engagement letter, so that's
Oh,
a
good.
positive. I think that's probably going to be our topic today, right? So I'm going to go into what we're doing and what we're actively seeking, and I guess we'll talk about what we've done in the past week to try to give an idea of to the listeners, like what projects we're undertaking right now.
Okay.
So, if you want me to start, I'll talk about the engagement letter we just signed.
Okay.
So, I mean, this engagement letter is probably not our focus because of the size of client we had. This client owns 4 rental units and is a real estate agent as well. While we will take on that client, it's pretty much a quick and easy client. They're looking for bookkeeping preparation, and I think we've been through personally various facets of our lives and our businesses where we've both come up from just a little bit of real estate sales, just a unit or two, to multiple units, multiple sales, multiple volume, and we've kind of designed for ourselves packages to help with the organization in the back office. So for our client, I had to think back of when I had 4 units, what I utilized, and we pretty much utilized CSV files, Excel files, and grouped Excel files accordingly, utilized formulas, and then kind of organized it to financial statements that we could present to the CPA. At that time, I was my own tax CPA, but we do work with tax CPAs now to help us. But that's pretty much what I'm doing for this small scale client. And then interestingly enough, I had two different versions of clients related to helping out with bookkeeping in the past week or week and a half. The other, I would say, would be a mid-tier client. And similar to what we do for our clients, we pretty much set up a system related to bookkeeping and offload that system, right? Make it so easy, make it so available for anybody to sit there with some knowledge and kind of take over. And we pretty much did the same. We were hired, I'd like to say, like, hands off, right? So somebody came to us and said, I want hands off bookkeeping. I don't want to be involved in this at all. And in terms of that bookkeeping, we took it on. We basically are the bookkeeper in charge. The client is pretty much completely hands off, and I set up a system that allowed somebody to take over, and that somebody is our internal manager hire. So similar to what we would do for the client, we set up the system that is pretty much set up so somebody can take over, and we set it up for this client for somebody to take over, which is our manager. And so that would be our second tier client, like a mid-tier complexity. And then our third complexity would be our highest tier client, which is multiple units, which is multiple different businesses and functionality. This specific client has hundreds of units, and they have construction as well as they have holding entities. So in this case, we dug deep to find out what exactly they're doing in specific entities. We identified that one entity is a holding entity that does flips, and then another entity is a construction entity that does third-party services. So what we decided to use 2 different QuickBooks techniques, I guess you would call them. For the holding entity, we decided to use class function to help us identify and track flips. And then with the construction company, we use the project function to help track project-related income and expenses. So we went from top to bottom, small scale to very large scale. I would say actually that's probably actually a week and a half, the last week and a half, and we made it happen last week related to that.
Cool. Yeah. So kind of related to that last client you were talking about, I've been working on some stuff as well. Since, as you mentioned, there's different entities involved doing different things. So they have accounting on different systems, right? So they have QuickBooks, but they also have AppFolio, right? So part of what I've been doing is trying to figure out, okay, well, what if we want to see all of this information in one place, right? Because some activity could happen on QuickBooks, some activity could happen on AppFolio, but you don't want to switch between the 2 systems and be generating reports and then have to combine them. There's a lot of different properties involved in different entities and such. So what I did was I created a kind of a master workbook for them that takes data from different sources and combines it all into one financial snapshot, right? So they could see per property, per entity, what's my net income, how's my cash flow, what's going on, and it's automated. So you just bring in, whenever your QuickBooks is updated, you bring in your new QuickBooks, you bring in your new Appfolio, the new numbers, you plug it right into the book, you can get a real-time update of what's going on. So that's what I've been working on. There's a lot of very detail-oriented things that you have to look at in order to make sure that the numbers make sense. A lot of checks and balances that I learned from working in the industry. When you have a managing director pointing out mistakes in your, 100 worksheet workbook, you kind of get used to, really being detail oriented with what you're doing. So that's important because it's only as good as the information you have. So, just making sure everything's really tight as far as reporting. So that's what I've been working on.
So another way to probably explain that would be consolidated financial statements, right? And I think the software programs on the lower tiers like QuickBooks and Xero, the functionality create consolidated financial statements is export and Excel use, and I think you've created a way to automate that without going to these next tier companies that could be thousands of dollars a month. So I think providing simple solutions to make sure that you're not overpaying for software pretty much. So I think that was amazing how you're able to complete those tasks and make that happen.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Awesome. So what's on the plans for next week after?
Plans is waiting on more numbers for that sheet from the client because we need more breakouts of some things that they need to provide. And then, just helping them to clean up their Appfolio. There's a lot of properties that don't need to be in there that were sold or whatever. And just figuring out, okay, how do we get these properties out of here? How do we close them out? How do we develop procedures to, identify anything that needs to be cleaned and cleared out, because those properties are clogging up the, financial reports when you're trying to figure out, okay, what's my vacancy rate? And you have properties from 5 years ago that you sold already. It's like, well, I don't want that counted, right? So just cleaning up everything so you can log into an Appfolio and be like, wow, okay, this is the exact number of units I have managed. I know my vacancy rate. I know my rent roll coming in. There's nothing clouding it. So that's what I'm working on clearing for that client.
Awesome. Yeah, I think for me, I'm just taking it as it comes in, right? So like we won that client yesterday. We have been doing very well and taking on new clients, but trying to figure that out and making sure that we have the staff on place from a business perspective as well, right? We're teaching others to bring in the right staff to help their back office, and we're actually doing the same and exercising the same. So just keeping that going, that's very important for what my thought process in the next coming weeks as well. So but yeah, I think we're doing a great job working well as a team and really helping these clients going forward. So excited to see what next month brings for us.
Yeah, me as well.
All right,
lots of things going on.
All right, awesome. Alex, thanks again for your time. Appreciate it, and I'll probably see you in the next client call.
All right, sounds good.
All right, man.